Alright, here comes one of my most boring videos of all time right now. But I've got to put it out. So this is the charity race, I guess heat 2 of the P-Pick. I'm starting on the front row there with the 222s. My teammate, he's starting in position 1, I'm in position 2. As you notice, they let us scrub tires on this race, which is not something typically permitted at G&J Kartway for any of the OVKA races. So they said, hey, it's the charity race, go ahead and scrub your tires, prove us wrong, that we can handle it. So I don't believe there were any issues with people scrubbing tires, so I'm wondering how that's going to go next year, if they're going to let us do it or not. But again, we are starting after the 206 seniors group. This is the Masters Heavy group that I'm in. As you can see, they take off, and off we go. We get the green flag. Of course, we know we're going to get the green flag, as I mentioned in my Heat 1 video. It's going to happen if they give the other guys the flag. So I get a great start along the outside, and I am in first place, and this is what will make this video super boring. There's nobody in front of me, so I'm just busting along all by my lonesome up here in the front. Now, that was one of the seniors. I think they got spun out or something, so they were, I had traffic kind of quicker than I wanted to have traffic. So, I'm holding on to my first position. I'm not 100% sure how far ahead of the second place guy I am, but it turns out I'm not really that far ahead of him, and it was the 222 that was right behind me. But this is a layout that I like. This is track C. This is a 10-lap race. Like I said, I like this layout. It's got a little indoor kart feel, and that's where I have the vast majority of any go-kart laps I've termed have come from, indoor tracks. But I was able to get, as you can see, a nice little run around that last corner. We didn't have any of the sharp turns there, and I was able to quickly duck under that guy. Didn't impede me at all. Didn't give the guy in second place the opportunity to get past me, so I was happy about that. The preferred line is to swing out wide and then duck down, get your tires in that black stuff right there, and then just kind of zip through this. If you noticed on my first go around through here, when I came through this chicane right here, I about lost it. I was driving my buddy's Comet Eagle, and the rear end is a little different than the Margay I've been driving, and boy, I fishtailed it pretty good through there. And I took it easier on the following laps, so I didn't have that issue. And so everything went relatively well. And this is what's going to make it boring. I'm able to hold probably every time I looked over my shoulder coming out of that turn 2. It seemed like I had a good 3 or 4 cart gap on the second place cart. And I've gotten pretty used to these layouts, so I don't have a whole lot of worry about being consistent. I can generally kind of knock out about the same style lap each time, and if I was putting a little gap on those guys, I wasn't too worried. I mean, I was somewhat worried, but as long as I continued to drive consistently around the track, I was optimistic that I could hold them off if they had not already started banging on me in about 1 or 2 laps. But again, fun layout. I think the 86, he's probably coming through the crowd. He started probably in like 4th or 5th place, and I think he won the first heat. And that's the guy who's letting me borrow this kart that I'm driving in this race. And he's fast. So when I looked at the times after the race, I believe we had like 5 people within about a 10th or 2 of each other in our heat. So the competition was pretty close. Got the Boganator out there. I think he might have finished this one in 3rd. Again, he was fast. Good to see him out there on the track. And his, I believe he's 741. I think he's driving an MGM, but I can't remember for sure. But again, we're coming up. There's going to be an interesting part coming up here. I'm going to have I gave a shot at adding some goofy little extras to this video, so what ends up happening, I'll preface it as we approach it, but the 222 is driving around still behind me at this point in time. I don't know who's behind me. I know somebody's about, on and off 3 car lengths, at least when I look. They might close up on me during other sections of the track, but I'm only really checking over my shoulder after I come, through this little dip down here. Once I come down through there, I'll look to the right and see if anybody's trying to catch me on the outside, and then if they're not that close, I'll swing out to the outside, because I don't really like to give up the inside if people are on me. It's hard to hold them off when you go around that corner. So right now when I come around here, we're going to hit these weird little red arrows. The 222's rear motor side wheel busted and flew off, so I've got it pointed at right there. You'll see it bounce across the track. It came all the way across the track in front of me. I saw it because one of the track marshals started kind of running in that direction, so I could see that. You don't see it in the camera, but he's off to the side and he's heading towards the flying wheel. And the 222, obviously, that ends his race, and he you'll see him when we come back through on the next lap. He's sitting in the grass right outside. We're coming up to the turn. It busted off going around this hard left hand right here. Right at the end of the turn, it looks like it came off because he slid right down over there. There's him standing on the side. And what happened, it looked like the wheel that he bought, that we had, it just ripped out in the middle. It just failed. The whole interior section where the studs go through and it gets bolted up, that was just gone. It was just ripped out of the wheel. So, as I said, boring. I don't pass anybody. Nobody passes me. No one's going to get around me on this lap. I'm pretty good at this. I don't come off this inside line on my last lap when I'm running this small track style configuration. So you're going to have to come around me on the outside, which is very difficult. You have to have a really big lot of power, because I'm going to have the preferred line coming into that. I guess what would be turn 3 left-hander. And as long as I don't royally screw something up through here, it's going to go well for me. So I come out of here, nobody even pulls up next to me, and that was my only win of a heat this season, and I didn't get disqualified, so that was good. So stay tuned for the final. It'll be coming up soon.